Hey, what is up, YouTube? Andrew Rooney here. I'm a full-time drummer and drum teacher here in Auckland, New Zealand. I am excited. We are finally getting into another Led Zepp week. Now, this one is dedicated to two long-time supporters, Patreon members of the channel, Finesse Muse and Suzanne Lash, who have helped out over the years, made various PayPal requests, been members on the Patreon. And that Patreon grew as a result of the support and Led Zepp fan base. So, I mean, not everybody on the Patreon is probably as mad a Led Zepp fan as those two I mentioned, but that initial Patreon support for the channel was based off the Led Zeppelin fans. They really got behind things and helped out and pushed things along. So this one is for you guys. We are going to get into the debut album by Led Zepp, which was recorded September and October 1968 at Olympic Studios in London, released on the 12th of January 1969 in the United States, and on the 31st of March in the United Kingdom. So released in the States before the United Kingdom. But anyway, we're going to get to more of the actual details of the recording and production things about the album on the live video, so stay tuned, look out for that. But for now, we're going to get into the first track. So we're going to do side one here, and then we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to look at side two, just to give the non-Led Zepp fans out there a little bit of a break. But we're going to look at side one and track one, Good Times, Bad Times. Now, I have done the Yoyoka cover of this song. I have not done a reaction / analysis of the original track with BONHAM playing the drums. So guys, if you dig it, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment. But with that said, let's check out Good Times, Bad Times. This is the numero uno track. Let that sink in. The first track, the first studio recorded track that we heard from Led Zepp. What were people thinking in 1969? I can only imagine. All right, let's go get it. Oh boy, there's we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars of drums on the intro, and there's already so much to unpack. Guys, original video link, as always, in the description of my video. This is a reaction and analysis, so if you don't like somebody stopping a video, please do check out the original video link. I suggest you do that anyway. Have a look. Already, BONHAM was 20 years old. I had a look before I started recording this. 20 years old when he recorded this. And bear in mind, this is 1968. This was recorded. We've got a rock drummer who has grown up clearly on jazz. Here, there is just a swing. There is an in the cracks type playing on the 16s. And I mean, there's just so much to unpack. This left foot ostinato, ja, 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 and then we go into eighth notes on the left foot. Carries on the eighth notes throughout the intro, I think. Yep, solid eighth notes throughout. So there's already the sense of changing gears, changing intensity. This cowbell, I believe it is a cowbell. Oh, then I was thinking it might have been a tom rim. No, I think I'll go back and have another listen. I'm pretty sure it was a cowbell. I mean, this rhythm, he is playing in between this left foot ostinato. Not overly difficult or sophisticated by 2022 standards, but it's the pocket, it's the grease. There is an in the cracks type quality to BONHAM's 16s. Now, what I mean by in the cracks, you could think of New Orleans style, if you want to think of that. Bernard Purdie, you know, all these, Steve Jordan, all these guys who just have this greasy style where it's not straight 16ths. It's not overly swung 16ths. It's in between. We call it in the cracks playing. I can't demo it here because it's incredibly hard to do. I feel like it's native to John Bonham. I feel like It's a product of what he listened to, what he grew up on, and it's just the style that if you're watching this video, it's likely you're a fan of John Bonham. Perhaps you never realized or really deeply thought about why you like him, other than, I really like what he plays and, great songs and great drumming, of course. It's these little things, and this is what I'm going to be getting into on this Led Zepp week. It's these little things that are very hard to describe, very hard to do, and it's why you won't see a lot of really authentic John Bonham covers. It's really, really hard to capture this feel. I'm going to have to go back to the start here. A little bit of distortion happening here, especially on the kicks. I'm thinking that is intentional. I have seen some videos of Glenn Johns, the producer engineer of this album, and he said that he used to like to overdrive the amps a little bit, run things a little bit hotter than you'd expect, or that people were used to when they were recording like this analog. You tell me. You tell me, as a viewer out there, as a watcher of the channel, as a lover of Bonham, are these 16th notes being played swung or straight? You tell me. I call it in the cracks. You tell me. I was told what it means to be a man. Now I've reached that age, I've tried to do all those things the best I can. This would have been one of the things that would have been mind-blowing about Bonham would have been these bass drum triplets on a single pedal. I don't know who else, I say this with respect, in the rock world would have been playing that kind of stuff. I know Mitch Mitchell would have been doing it with Jimi Hendrix, but I don't think it would have been overly common. And let's be honest here, pedals, although the mechanics of a bass drum pedal haven't changed a hell of a lot, pedals have gotten a lot better. So to be able to be playing this clean, this perfectly in a triplet subdivision between the hands and the feet is really, really impressive. These are fast bass drum notes, really fast bass drum notes. Let's back it up again and listen to these triplets, man. This is some real deal stuff here. I've tried to do all the things the best I can. No matter how I try, I find my way through the same old jam. All right, just before we get to the chorus, one thing that underpins a lot of what Bonham does, and I brought it up on the multiple Moby Dick solos that I've looked at, he will keep his left foot chomping away. Now that has a sense of tying things down, because there's a lot of fireworks going on between his other limbs. That left foot is just chomping away, holding it down, creating an ostinato for the rest of the fire that he's laying down to really shine, to really pop, because he's got all of this interesting syncopation going on between the snare and the kick and the cowbell, but we've got that left foot chomping away. It's also a real indication of his independence at 20 years old, that he can play this heavy, this musically, this tightly as well. I'm not sure how metronomic this is. I haven't beat mapped it and checked out, if the song starts and finishes at the same tempo, and I don't care because it's Led Zepp, it's from a different era, I don't really care about that. Sounds pretty on point to me, and really, really clean subdivision, great independence. Keeping that left foot chomping away eighth notes while playing all that on the kick and the snare? You kidding me? I'm going to back it up again. Good times, bad times, you know I've had my share. When my woman left home for a brown-eyed man, but I still don't seem to care. Choke.
16, I fell in love with a girl as sweet as could be. It only took a couple of days for she was rid of me. She swore that she would be all mine and love me till the end. But when I whispered in her ear, I lost another friend. Oh, good times, bad times, you know I've had my share. When my woman left home for a brown land, but I still don't seem to care.
Not a lot of definition there in the sound. We're really overdriving things, and he's playing a crash right there. So that is blowing out the mix a little bit with the definition of the snare and the kick, because organically the way that they recorded was just put some mics up and just capture the whole kit naturally as it would have sounded in the room as much as possible. That was the ethos, right? Capture the performance. It's an approach I really dig. But the trade-off is that we do lose a bit of definition if he plays really heavy on a cymbal, because that's going to wash out the definition of the kick and the snare. But that's the vibe. That is the vibe we got here. It's just so good.
Good times, bad times, you know I've had my share. When my woman left home for a brown-eyed man, but I still don't seem to care.
That is a long phrase of bass drums. Check this out again. Check out how many triplet bass drums we get here.
I wish I was at home. I don't care what the neighbors say. I'm gonna love you each and every day. You can feel the beat within my heart.
It's a really interesting part as well. When he goes to this tom, where is it? It was lead us in with one bar of bass drum shred into this really interesting melodic snare tom thing he does. This is really jazz solo style here. Thinking like Philly Joe Jones or someone like that. Oh yeah, baby. That is the Bonham grease that we know and love. And by the way, I don't even know if I mentioned this. I am following along with the Drumeo transcription here. You guys can do the same. I've got a 30-day free trial over at Drumeo. You can go pick that up. You can download all of these song transcriptions from the first Led Zeppelin album. They're all up on Drumeo. Along with, I think, just about every Led Zepp song ever recorded in the studios is available for you guys at Drumeo. It's all free. On my link, go get it. What can you say? It is like a big lumbering giant or a big lumbering machine where there's multiple cogs and wheels going simultaneously at different speeds as the machine is moving. It's a big rusty old machine. You know, you got to add oil into this bit, and this bit's making a funny noise, and this bit's squeaking, and it just works. And it just keeps going, and it just keeps having forward momentum. There is something just so undeniable about the groove here. Something magical and hard to capture. I've heard people say that they can play certain Bonham parts, and then, you know, without throwing shade, you might see them actually attempt it. You know, they put out a video, oh yeah, that song was easy. It doesn't sound anything like it, because there is so much to take into consideration here. The internal dynamics. This is something I'm going to be talking about as this week goes on, is the internal dynamics of John Bonham. He is not a basher. Does John Bonham play hard and heavy? Yes, absolutely he does. But he is mixing himself. His feet are heavy, his hands are controlled. And if you want to sound big on the drums, heavy feet, light hands. Your kit will instantly sound huge. The quickest way to sound really small and make your kit sound horrible is to tap, tap, tap with your feet, chomp quietly on your left foot, light bass drum taps, and play really heavy hands, because then you got heavy cymbals and loud snare, and you're getting into that higher tonal range, higher frequency range, and the foot, the bottom end is missing a bit, and you're out of balance, you're out of whack. Easy to fix, you know, these days with multiple tracks, you can pump things up right, or use samples, of course. But if you want to organically, acoustically sound big and impressive on the drums, heavy feet, light hands. There you go, tip of the day. But it's just so impressive. I do need to go back now that I'm more familiar with the song and go back and check out Yoyoka's cover, because, I mean, it's been a while since I checked out that cover. If she was playing all of those bass drum triplets, because they were constant here, constant, often doing like a cowbell, two kicks, da, 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 but fast, right? If she was playing those with the same speed and intonation that we got here, which I'm sure she was because she's Yoyoka, but super, super cool. Absolutely love it. Guys, I hope you dug this video and this reaction and analysis to the first album, the first song off the first album, self-titled Led Zeppelin, Good Times, Bad Times. I will catch you guys tomorrow with Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. Looking forward to it. Until then, take care. Ciao.